everybody. This is another episode of Broadstreet 4 for 4. We back. We back to give y'all more energy and more sports talk, man. And remember, man, to check us out, man. We'll be giving y'all more shows, more sports talk, and we're going to continue to push shows out, good topics and all that. We're missing one of our members today, Money Mike. Mike McCline couldn't be here with us. He's on vacation with his wife down.
Shout out to Mike. I hope he's having a good vacation.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Money Mike. Mike McCline, man. Enjoy yourself down there, man, down at Big Easy and all that. But we still...
He's in Louisiana?
Yeah, I believe so.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I've been down there one time for my buddy Keith's wedding. We were down there, and we was more in Biloxi, but it always makes me think of that movie, Biloxi Blues. But
Okay.
Yeah, right. Shout out to our man Mike McCline. We missing him, but this Broadstreet 4 for 4, we gonna hold it down, man, because this is what we gotta do. We gotta give y'all some good sports talk. So my name Chris Colazzo. I got my man James Woodruff with me. Woody Wood, how you feel tonight, Wood?
I feel good, man. Even considering the fact that our team caught the first L of the season, but I know we're gonna get into it later. But it was a little disappointing. Slow getting out the gate offensively, but they tried to come back near the end, but to no avail. They were not successful.
Yeah, no doubt. We definitely want to talk about that. Jerome Dooley. Rome, what's up, Rome? How you feel tonight?
Yo, what's up? Doing all right, man. Doing all right.
No doubt. Long as my brothers is good, I'm good, man. So again, this is Broadstreet 4 for 4. Remember to check us out, man, on Podbean, iTunes, SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram. You can check us out, man. Broadstreet 4 for 4. Did I miss anything wrong?
No, you good. You hit them all, I think. You got IG in there, Facebook, Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Leave your comments, suggestions up on those platforms, and I think we're good to go. We're going to give y'all another good show.
No doubt. We ask y'all, man, definitely to stay inactive, man. Follow, subscribe, leave suggestions, things y'all might want to hear us talk about, some opinions about some of the things y'all might hear us talking about, and some of y'all feedback, man. We want this thing to be interactive, man. Whether we got one listener or 1 million, man, we're going to do what we do. So this Broadstreet 4 for 4, we're going to get right into it too, man. Some of the things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the Eagles Tampa Bay game, the recap. We disappointed the Eagles lost, but we're going to deal with it and move on. We're going to talk about some receivers. It's been a lot going on about Gordon and Dez Bryant, and who should we pick up, and should we pick up some of these guys, and if not those guys, who do you think can help us out at the wide receiver position? We're going to talk about our top receivers of all time, man, all-time NFL top receivers. So between us three, we're going to give our top receivers of all time, so that should be fun. Y'all should enjoy that. And we're gonna do a recap of the Triple G Canelo Alvarez fight. It was a big fight this past weekend, man. A lot of controversy behind it, but we'll talk about it and we'll get into it, man. And Eagles Tampa Bay recap. The Eagles obviously went down to Tampa Bay, and we lost. DJ got out on his first play. What was the score? 27-21. We lost, man.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, man. Jump in somebody and tell me how y'all feel about your game, y'all breakdown, and your analysis of the game.
Let me tell you how I feel, Mr. Colazzo, and then I owe you an apology because all I'm going to say is March 28th, 2014 was the day that Deshaun Jackson was cut from the Philadelphia Eagles. I never forget, you texted me and said, "Oh, man, that's the biggest mistake we ever made." And at that time, Chris, I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I was saying, "No, Chip Kelly did the right thing. No, Deshaun Jackson, he's a menace. The system will still work." Coming off of an amazing season, Deshaun Jackson, Pro Bowl player, 82 receptions, 1,332 yards receiving, and we released him because of his links with his homeboys from LA. Chip Kelly is still hurting us after all these years. Because because after he was released, he was picked up by the Washington Redskins, and even when we would trash the Redskins, Deshaun Jackson would still have like an 80-yard reception. He was still shining in the game. I didn't think he still had it. I thought he was going to lose. I was like, oh, he's already skinny. He's short. He'll lose the speed because it happened to the best of them. Allen Iverson, he started losing speed later in his career, but Deshaun Jackson has yet to lose it. We saw witness to what he still can do. He can still play at a top level. He is still an elite wide receiver in the league. And we didn't get, and what hurts the most, what really stings, is the fact that we didn't get anything back for him. We just let him walk. That's what stings the most. Sean McCoy, we let him go, and we got a linebacker from Buffalo that didn't do anything from us. We let Macklin go in free agency, but Deshaun hurts the most because we didn't get anything in return. And saying that, when I saw that, it hurt the most. However, I was like, you know what, we just got to get on our game. Foles has to do what he does, get the offensive involved. That did not happen. The offense was non-existent the entire first half. And I swear, at one point, I thought Kerry Williams was still out there on the defensive side. I thought we had Kerry Williams and what we call him, Toast. What was our defensive backs that we had? Back when they were getting burnt every other game.
Yeah. And it was a few years ago.
Yeah. Bradley Fletcher, Kerry Williams, and Patrick Chung. You remember them guys? I felt like they were still in the field on Sunday. And Malcolm Jenkins had a breakdown. Another D-back had a breakdown. That's where we struggled the most, was in the secondary. We couldn't stop their passing game, especially when the Eagles started getting momentum. Football's a game of momentum, and it started shifting in our favor in the second half. And we were like, oh, there's a chance we could do this. But then we couldn't get that stop. Like, they were converting on third down. They were converting, and they were able to chew up enough time where when we finally got the ball back, it was just too little too late. We couldn't do anything. And I applaud the effort, but at the same time, we just need to be faster out the gate. Like, we didn't do anything. There was no sense of urgency in the first two quarters. And this is the second week in a row that we had this problem. So that's concerning. I felt Foles did the best that he could. I know you guys kind of feel that I'm always like bigging him up and taking his side and all that, but I think he did a serviceable job. I think he threw for over 300 yards. He had a touchdown pass. He didn't have an interception. He got rushed a lot. He got knocked down a lot. He got, the offense didn't really protect him as well as I would like, but he got some key first downs on fourth down conversions when he was diving, those quarterback sneaks. That was impressive. But I'm hoping Carson Wentz can come in and revitalize the offense. And he's such a good quarterback that he can maybe fit in those tight squeezes to those receivers, because Foles probably didn't feel strong enough that he could do that. But at the same, from the flip side of this coin is that he still needs to throw the ball to someone, and our receiving core is so depleted now that we lost Mike Wallace possibly for the season. That's something to consider. It's frustrating. It was a frustrating loss, but the silver lining, and I'm gonna pass this on to y'all. The silver lining is that we got this loss early, and it wasn't a divisional game, and I think the Eagles are going to bounce back.
Right. We'll come back to you, because I know how strongly everybody feel about this, and I know you want to touch on a lot of things. So we'll come back to you. But JD, let me know. Let me know. Yeah, how you feel about the game?
Yeah, it was a tough loss down there. I thought our DBs would struggle, and they did. Starting off with Jenkins, first play of the game. God knows what he was reading on that play. His job was to stay in center field.
The center field, and he went to the other side of the field.
Yeah, right? He jumps it like it was going to be some little like a 10-yard in or something. He jumps it like he was going to get a pick. I didn't even see Fitzgerald pump. So I don't know if he saw something in tape, like maybe they ran that play a lot in the first game or something, and he thought they were going to do that, and it was just over the top, and Mills didn't have a chance. But our DBs got ate up the whole game, which I figured, because even though all the analysts thought our DBs were strong, I have never thought that. And I've been saying this since the beginning of the season, since the preseason. I think our DBs are weak, and we're hurting every week. We'll hurt every week because of the DBs. And then we got no.
What about the brother that had the interception? What's his name?
Who? Darby? I mean, not Darby. Douglas. Rasul Douglas is. You talking about what? The first game?
No, during this past game, there was one of our defensive backs had an interception.
I can't remember who it was. It was probably some fluky play or something, man.
Yeah, it was a bounce.
Exactly. Exactly, some fluke, John. Yeah, you got it right, what? Yeah, but, I mean, we got no consistent pressure on Fitzpatrick either. I think I think like that second drive, I think Cox got a sack and then Bradham had one. But besides that, we got no real pressure, and that's why Fitz threw for 400-something yards. And then, matter of fact, Fitz he threw 32 times and only had 5 incompletions. 27 of 32.
Darby had to pick. Just for the record.
Okay, thanks. What? Yeah, 27 of 32 for 402. You got to be kidding me. He just shredded us. And then that goes to the defense as a whole too. I don't think anybody played well on the defense. I think in the first half we had a chance because I think we stopped them on like 3 consecutive drives after the D-Jack touchdown. Mm-hmm. And then our offense couldn't put up points. So we got hurt. Yeah, but if you look at our defense as a whole since last year, we allowed 12 points at home, but 27 on the road. That means we just don't show up on the road, man. At point blank, the numbers don't lie.
Fitzgerald was looking like 1988 Vinny Testaverde.
Yeah, he was just eating us alive, man.
He was killing us, man. He was killing us.
And then what happened to that drive where Clement got the long punt return, got called back for a penalty? I think that was the same drive where we ended up like 2nd and 40 at one point, right?
So many unforced errors. At one point I saw it was a 3rd and 41.
Yeah,
that's that same drive. We just kept getting penalties.
Yeah.
And what's up with Jason Peters, man? He's pulling the same shit where he's checking himself out of games again.
Right.
To me, I think it's to the point where it's getting close to you have to consider moving on from Jason Peters. Even though I don't want to say it, but if he's not consistently out there, then what's the point? Like, you can't depend on that guy.
He's a future Hall of Famer, ain't no doubt about it. But this time,
Yeah, you can't depend on him.
Runyon go, right?
And it's been going on since the Chip Kelly era. Like, he checks himself out of games consistently. He did it last year before he got hurt with the knee injury. And he did it this week. First drive. He's checked himself out.
Yeah. Yeah, he played stellar in week 1. I think this will be his last year, but no, I definitely understand your point.
Yeah,
I think my fault, Rome. I can't even break it down, but so much. I think we lost in all 3 facets of the game. Offensive, defense, and special teams. We didn't play well on either side of the ball. And I thought it was really going to come down to the line. Our defensive line getting pressure on Fitzgerald, not allowing him time to do what he can possibly do with that receiving core. We didn't do that. And, it was a lot of pressure on Foles. Our offensive line didn't protect Foles, to give him time to, possibly, play his best football. But a lot of injuries, man. How do y'all feel, man? Because I didn't like the loss, man. I thought we lost ugly, and I'm a little nervous, man. I didn't see enough offense out there. I didn't see enough weapons for us to be competitive.
All of our weapons are hurt. All of our weapons are on the bench. It's unfortunate. I didn't like some of the coaching decisions. Remember when we were trying to make that run at the end, and we had the momentum going, and we had to get a quick score. Yeah, I felt like there was 3 plays in a row he ran the ball and we couldn't get in.
Jai up the gut. 3 straight plays.
Yeah, I was like,
that was about inside the 5-yard line, 7-yard line, something like that.
It wasted so much time. I felt like it took off like 2.5 minutes. In 2.5 minutes, considering that we were down like 2 possessions, that every second counts. Thankfully we did get in, and so we're not talking about and he didn't even get in there. So at least we're not having that discussion. Jake Elliott missed a crucial 42-yard field goal. There's no telling what kind of momentum the Eagles could have got from that. There were just a lot of coulda, shoulda, wouldas, and the fact of the matter is we didn't pull it out at the end. You can't kick it in gear in the third quarter. You got to kick it in gear. That's why we punched teams in the mouth last year, because we jumped on them early. Like when we got those wins, we jumped on them and we kept the pressure and the intensity going. We're starting off bad out the gate. Even if we beat the Falcons, our offense sputtered in the beginning, but thankfully we got it together in the end. I'm just glad we didn't go. We're not 0-2 right now. I got the Eagles winning every game because I'm such a super fan. I know realistically that's the probability in that is very low, but of them going undefeated. But the fact is that it was a winnable game. If you look back at it, it's like this is one of those games you feel like the Eagles could have possibly won it. Like, we weren't outclassed. We just made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, and I think the biggest difference for previous Eagles teams and last year's teams, those are games we would win. Like, that Carolina game on the road last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good example.
We did that. We would win games. Like, we wouldn't do that in previous years. But how do you think we solved that? Carson Wentz, he's medically cleared to come back. How do you think we solved that problem? Where's our biggest problems? How do you think we solved that problem? Is Carson Wentz simply the answer when he comes back?
Certainly going to help.
Can he make?
Certainly going to help.
Definitely. Do you think that's the answer, or do we need more playmakers on offense?
I think you roll with this week and see if Carson's going to make them better. Because if you look at it, was Torrey Smith that good last year? No, he wasn't. And Alshon wasn't even playing well in the beginning of the year. So it was just Carson Wentz, the running back position, and Ertz making plays last year. So we go in here with the Colts, who don't have a good defense. They came off a win against the Redskins, but they were basically underdogs in that game. So I think you just roll with that and see if Wentz is going to make these guys better. He's been practicing
Shout out to Nelson Aguilar, who tried his hardest to play above and beyond. Like he's the only shining light in our wide receiver depth chart.
He was the one bright spot. Excuse me.
Yeah, man. Well, DeAndre Carter. I talk big about this boy in preseason. I'm hoping he'll find some way to make an impact. I'm waiting to see him. Who else? Who else we got? That dude, Shelton Gibson. Is he number 81? Like is he like?
Wentz has been working with him the whole time. Wentz has been working with the second teamers. So hopefully him and Gibson have a rapport. He's been working with Aiken also. So hopefully, we'll see if Wentz has that rapport with them. But yeah, you got Aguilar. Aguilar's a legit NFL player now. Point blank, he doesn't drop balls anymore. He runs crisp routes. He's there, man. So I don't feel that bad going in here because I had him losing the first game anyway.
And Ertz did bounce back. I did make a point of that last episode. Was that I'm looking for Ertz to make an impact, and he did. He made some good catches.
Definitely.
Yeah. Sproles, we get Sproles back, right? I'm sure he'll come back for Wentz.
I don't know.
We're hoping to see that. He'll certainly help receiving the backfield.
Do you guys know who's in, who's out, who's hurt? Because we had a lot of injuries. We got a lot of injuries. Do you guys know?
Mike Wallace is the big one.
I think Mike Wallace is the only one that's definitely
still kind of early in the week. Sometimes those injury reports come out like Thursday, Friday, sometimes.
Right. Is Ajayi good?
Oh, good question. Because he walked off gingerly.
But I think he was all right. He had that back injury, but he played in the fourth. I guess they'll see later on this week.
We're going to talk about Clements and how much you like him, because I think that would be a perfect segue.
Definitely.
I think Clement is a legit NFL player. And luckily we got him for the cheap, him being undrafted, but I think he does everything well. I don't think he's a guy who could carry the load, 25 carries a game, but who plays like that anymore anyway? I think he really plays well in the run game. He could pick up blitzers. He's excellent in the pass game. I think he's just a sound football player, and I think we can move forward with Clement. I think Clement is going to be the answer. You just got to add a couple more backs in there. I think that's kind of our issue. Like Sproles. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with you. He needs He needs somebody to compliment him.
Yeah, that's going to be kind of our issue. If Ajayi goes out for any length of time, I'm okay with Clement carrying the load. But then if Sproles is out also, who else do we have that complements him? Because it can't be Smallwood. Because looking at him last game, I still don't get why Smallwood's on the team. He does nothing for me when he's out there. He doesn't hit the hole with enthusiasm. He's just lackadaisical out there. It's like he can't read the hole most of the time when he's out there. So what do? You got to look for somebody off the practice squad. I mean, you got Adams on the practice squad, and then maybe you grab somebody off the street or something. But I think if Ajayi goes down or Sproles, you got to look for somebody else. I don't think Smallwood is the answer. I just don't see it. Unless something changes, but it doesn't look like he wants it enough for me.
Do you guys feel as though this game is just one game, not to make too much out of it? Obviously, we're hurt, we're injured, decimated. We don't have our top receiver, Alshon Jeffries. Obviously, our running back, Sproles, is hurt. Obviously, the leader of our team, Carson Wentz, isn't there. We're playing with Foles. For some reason, Foles, he had a decent game, but do you think this is just one game and not to make too much of it and just a bump in the road? Or are you guys concerned?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Bump in the road. That's exactly what I was going to say. Again, every win matters. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discounting the fact that losing this game is not a big deal, because I think it is a big deal. But thankfully, it was not against the Giants, Washington, or Dallas. Mm-hmm. The division games is where it counts. Ron made a good point when we were all texting each other during the game. Was we're still good. Our division rivals aren't playing up to par, so that's really good. That's going in our favor. Because honestly, so far, and I know the season is early, it's in its infancy, but right now Washington doesn't look that great. The New York Giants definitely they don't look great at all. They're 0-2. The Cowboys, they don't look that great either. So I'm happy about that. However, again, getting number 11 back is going to be a big deal. He's not just the way he plays the game. It's him being back, like the captain. It does so much for morale. When you see that guy back in, and don't get me wrong, Foles did the best he could. 1-1. And again, going back to what he did last year, I know that's might as well be in a whole nother world. You know what I'm saying? I know we're not focused on that, but they're going to always the teammates, the players, going to have respect for what Foles did. But now number 11 is back. The crowd is going to go bananas. It's in Philadelphia. I'm surprised that he's back so soon because my prediction was he wasn't going to come back until after the bye. But I am very. It was welcome news, especially considering that we're licking our wounds from this Buccaneer loss. But again, I want to reiterate that March 28th, 2014 will forever live in infamy. Pearl Harbor, 9/11, all that stuff. For me, it's March 28th, 2014, man. Because we let that brother walk. And just to recap, he left us. He left the Eagles with the franchise's 4th most receiving yards, 6,117, 8th most receptions, 356, 9th most receiving yards. 9th most receiving touchdowns, 32, and tied for the 3rd most 100-plus receiving yard games at 20. This was in 2014 for this 2013 season. And again, Chris, like I said, I apologize, brother, because I gave you the business. I was telling you how wrong you are, and I hope you accept my apology, man. Because here I am. I admit it. I was wrong. Deshaun Jackson is one of those players that you got to hold on to.
Yeah, dynamic player, man. Dynamic player, man.
I was always a fan of D-Jack, and I was pissed about that, and I knew he's going to be one of them guys, like Joey Galloway's damn near like 50, but he still runs a 4.4. That's going to be D-Jack, man. He's just one of them guys that's just going to be fast his whole life. He's going to be out there racing boys in the parking lot when he's 50.
Hey, Ron, what's up with Chad Johnson saying he wants to be an Eagle? Like he's saying,
come on, did you see that? Chad Johnson.
Hey, the way I feel is give him a shot, man. Chad Cinco, get him in there. Try him out.
Yeah.
I didn't want Chad Johnson in his prime. I damn sure don't want him there. Chad Johnson.
Good segue.
I bring in T.O.
Yeah.
Shit before Chad Johnson.
Or Des Bryant, right?
How do y'all feel about real quick? I still think before we go in, I still think D-Jack, when the ball's in the air, I think he's the fastest receiver to get to that ball.
Ain't no doubt. Yeah, I'm a believer now. I'm a believer.
Yeah,
took me a while to get on board, but I'm there.
Yeah, dynamic player. But it's obviously we know Gordon had some problems. He's separated from the Cleveland Browns, and Des Bryant is yet to sign with the team. How do you guys feel about those guys? Well, Gordon is signed with the Patriots. I believe that's official.
Yeah, that is official. Yep,
that's official.
Tonight.
Obviously, we need some help at the receiver position. Do you guys think we should go after Des Bryant? Do you guys think we should go after receiver at all?
He's like that prototypical wide receiver. He's big, strong, at 6'4", 200-something pounds, and he can go and get the ball. Like in his prime with the Cowboys, he's one of the best receivers in the league. So I think he could be one of those receivers that can find new life with a contender. Thinking about Randy Moss when he made the transition from the Raiders to the Patriots, he could, you give him a chance, he can come in and show the world, like, hey, I'm still that Des Bryant. I'm still that number 88 that y'all love to hate when I was a Cowboy. He had that chip on his shoulder, especially knowing that he's going to play the Cowboys twice.
Right.
Man, he would love to be an Eagle. He'd love to be an Eagle.
How many years has how many years has Des Bryant got in now?
I don't know. He's been in a minute. He's like 29. So he's got to be like 8 years in or something.
Right. So, Wood, you wouldn't mind having Des, right, Wood?
Absolutely not. I would love to have him on the squad.
I agree.
Like that CEO.
I agree. I would love to have him, too. I know he's not the same Des Bryant 4 years ago, but I think he's 4 times better than anything we got right now.
But the downside, though, is think about our organization. Think how they act. Like, I was surprised when we grabbed Michael Vick, considering all the controversy that he had. Do you think that the Eagles will even get Des Bryant because of all his locker room issues and all that stuff? Like,
I think they would. A lot of that was Andy Reid when he was here, but obviously story too, Harry Roseman, but I think they would give him a shot, and I don't think Dez has been that detrimental. I don't, it's not like the
I don't
guys
think so either. He's just one of those flamboyant wide receivers, like one of those divas, that just want to who kind of earned that because he was such an explosive player. So
right, and some guys need that fire to play well, and I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's not like the guy is outside getting arrested and hitting people over the head with chairs in the nightclub and nothing.
I agree. Yeah.
He hasn't had any issues that I've known about. So I would love to have Dez Bryant. I think he's better than anything we got. How you feel about that, Ron? Dez Bryant fan?
Well, yeah, for me, I mean, and I know we had this discussion earlier when before Gordon got signed, but I would have picked Dez before Gordon, but just because of Gordon's personal
he played 8 years with the Cowboys. Just so y'all know, 8 years. Yeah, he played 8 seasons.
Yeah,
okay.
I figured it was like
if he gets on the team this year, he'll be going into his 9th year.
Yeah, but I think I'm up in the air on Dez because I don't know what he has left really. I mean, you looked over like the past 3 years, and I think he led the league in drops over that time. He doesn't have speed, not explosive, bad attitude. And then now, how good of shape is he in? I don't know how he's been working out and all that.
Bring him in to try? Can you bring him in to have him work out with the team for a couple of days?
To me, I'm just like, I think Alshon will be back in like 2 weeks. I don't think the Eagles make a move for Dez, personally. I think they bring in one of these lower tier guys just to see if Carson could hold down the fort, man. I think he is. Me personally, I don't know if you go after Dez. And then what type of money is he talking about? For
right,
that's kind of the issue because he turned down a 3-year deal with the Ravens for $5 million a year.
Right.
So what type of money is this guy trying to get? And he turned down the deal with the Browns too. So
do you think he might have just didn't want to go to those teams because they're not contenders? Maybe he's tired of.
I can see him turning down the Browns though. I can see anybody turning the Browns down.
But to turn down the Ravens, like they're really the second best team in that division, so they have a legit shot at making the playoffs, and to turn them down at $5 million a year, like I don't get it. So who knows what this guy's trying to do? To me personally, like he was just at the thing, Jay and Beyonce concert with Jerry Jones. I think he's just trying to get back with Dallas personally. I think that's what he's been holding out the whole time, hoping he could get back with the Cowboys.
And Rome dropping TMZ type news. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've thought that the whole time. Like he's just been trying to get back with the Cowboys. Maybe their receiver situation gets so desperate, like they just have to grab him back.
Yeah.
So
I know he hasn't quite been the same as these last few years. He always seems to drop a ball or two, per game, but he always seems to make a play too. And a big play, you know what I mean? And right now, the receivers we have is just I almost get nervous, man. I start thinking about those McNabb years when we had Freddie Mitchell and Pinkston. You know what I mean? It's almost getting. I don't want to say we're that bad because we aren't, but it's
What about the first year that Andy Reid was our coach? We had like Torrance Small. And another dude,
it was and Charles Johnson.
That was a bad year.
But I think when you look at last year, it was only Aguilar and Alshon.
Right.
Am I missing that? Right?
No, yeah,
like
definitely.
that's it. And once Alshon comes back, it's going to be them too. But you
won't know how he's going to be when he comes back. He's going to be coming off that injury.
But he wasn't good in the beginning of the year anyway. Like, we all thought he was a bust last year in the beginning of the year. He didn't really... Alshon.
Yeah, until about
he
week 10.
didn't get good until the end of the, like mid-season or something.
Right.
So, I mean, I think you rely on Ertz, and I don't know what the hell happened to Goddard last game.
Yeah,
I don't know why
how
he didn't
about
see
that?
the field, and we had that Perkins guy out there.
Right. That's something they seen in practice, I guess, man. But
Yeah, I don't know, but to me,
once
I'm not that desperate
to
in
go get
the
Des Bryant.
receive, to go get Dez Bryant. And I don't think Howie goes and gets Dez Bryant because I think
No,
he would have already did it by now. He would have already reached out to him.
no, I could definitely understand that point.
Because I think we just lost Mike Wallace and he didn't do anything for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't get any separation down the field. I mean, it was like that one play in the first game that Foles underthrew.
Just got hurt. It's week 2. Just got hurt.
But I mean, he did nothing in the
hurt like in the beginning of
preseason.
the Buck game.
Yeah, but he did nothing in the preseason and nothing in the first game. He wasn't even a factor.
I thought he was waiting for the season to start so he could shine.
I think you would have kept waiting and saw nothing from that guy. I'm just telling you. I think it was just like Torrey Smith. He gave us nothing last year. He consistently dropped balls, man.
Free flicker in the playoffs. Yeah. I'm not gonna forget that.
Yeah, he had that. That's about it.
I didn't even think that was him catching the ball.
Yeah, because he just consistently dropped passes all year. So who would have thought he caught that?
Yeah,
that must have been the outside. I'm Torrey Smith. What?
Right. So is Wallace done for the year? What is his injury status?
It could be. There's no official word yet, but he is going to be out for an extended period of time.
Yeah,
but there is a chance it could be for the season. Fractured fibula.
And that's kind of the issue. Like, if you wanted one guy to be, you can't have two slow guys on the outside and Dez and Alshon. Like, that's the issue. Like, you can't push the ball down the field. That's why it's no reason.
To the outside and then make put Dez Bryant in the slot.
Nah, they're not going to do that.
I know. It's just wishful thinking.
Right.
I think they're trying to do anything to keep Nelson in the slot because that's where he excels at. Yeah. So you might as well. I think like you could put him outside for a little bit until we figure out what's going to go on. But
what's up with Jason Avant? Is he still available? Like, what's hands, boy. That dude could catch, man.
Yeah, Avant's about 47 now.
I like Avant, but he was slow as I don't know what, man.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, what about Macklin though? Because people are talking about maybe Macklin or Jordan Matthews coming back. Are we really entertaining that idea? I hope not.
Yeah,
I would bring Macklin in.
Macklin gives us nothing, if you ask me. He had 1 year where he kind of, he was average for a couple years. He was solid. Let me say solid for a few years. Next to Deshaun, let me add, he had that kind of one good year when Deshaun wasn't there. But I don't think Macklin can do anything for us at this point in his career. My opinion. I don't know how much he brings to the table at this point. I don't even know. The season start, was he still in the league? I couldn't tell you. Where is he at?
No, I think he's a free agent.
He's just a free agent. Yeah, he's just like Dez.
Yeah, he's waiting for that call.
Yeah. I would just bring him in to work him. At this point, if you're looking for guys, you just bring in anybody to work out. If you're really looking at guys.
I bet Terrell Owens is still effective. He bring T.O. in. That brother, man, he stay in shape.
Right. You know? I guess they're waiting to see. We got a head guy back, Carson Wentz, man, and maybe that Carson Wentz effect, makes everybody better, man. You know what I mean? Kind of like Tom Brady over there. Not to bring Brady up, but he kind of makes average receivers look good.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. They are. You know what I mean? You don't know a lot. He had Jordy Nelson for years, but a lot of those guys you don't know who they are. But those top quarterbacks makes those receivers sometimes look good and then play well. So maybe they're waiting, like Ron said earlier, waiting for the Carson Wentz effect. And I guess all we could do is wait and see, man. So it was a disappointing loss. I was hurt. I'm a little more nervous. Bump in the road, maybe. I think we need some playmakers out there, to be honest with you. But yeah, man. I think we need some playmakers out there. But we'll wait and see, man. We got a head guy coming back next week, so. Any last comments y'all got to say about that? The Eagles?
I just think we didn't have playmakers last year, so that's all I'm going off of. I think when you compare them to the team from last year, there was really no offensive playmakers.
I love talking about wide receivers, man. It's one of my favorite positions in the NFL to watch. I love the wide receiver position. Always have when I was a kid. When I saw Mike Quick play for the first time. When I saw Randall Cunningham connect with Mike Quick. That's right when I started paying attention to football. And I just remember I was number 82, man. I wanted to be Mike Quick so bad.
I remember, that was your man, Mike Quick. Man, I remember, man. But listen, man, let's talk about these receivers, man. We're gonna do our top 5 right now. We like to do a top 5, and we're gonna do our top 5 receivers right now, man, of all time, man. Top 5 wide receivers in the NFL all time, man. We're gonna give our top 5. And please remember to follow us: Instagram, Podbeam, SoundCloud. Let us know what y'all think about our list.
iTunes. Give us your top 5. We love to hear it.
Exactly.
Love to read it, and then we can talk about it on air maybe next episode.
There you go, man. Because we want this thing to be interactive, man. We want to listen. We want the feedback. We want this thing to be interactive, man. So hey Rome. Well, you know what? Wood, you chimed in about the wide receiver position.
I'm chomping at the bit. Let me loose.
I'm gonna let you go, man. I'm gonna let him go. He's a pit bull, man. We're gonna open the cage, man. We're gonna let him loose, man, and let him go, man. Get out the way, man. But we're gonna let Wood go, man. Top 5 receivers.
Top 5 receivers. Now, before I get to the top 5, I have 2 wide receivers that hold a special place in my heart, and you already know one of them, Mike Quick. When I saw Mike Quick play, again, it was something. And he had the last name, like he's a wide receiver. He's quick, and his last name is Quick. I thought it was like a hip hop thing. I thought it had to do with. I thought he made up that last name. I didn't know that was his real last name. And I just remember seeing him just score Randall Cunningham connect with him, score touchdowns. He was very effective. 87, like in 1987, he had about 11 touchdown receptions. And I know he had a bad injury near the end of his career. And as he was fading out, another young wide receiver was starting to come in, who was number 2 on my special place. As far as I'm concerned, he's even though I know there's better rap groups out there, but the Wu-Tang Clan is my favorite rap group. Like I'll hold like Outkast as like the best rap group of all time. And I know it could be a whole different topic of discussion, but like I got the Roots, I got Outkast, the Roots, and Wu-Tang as far as the best 3 rap groups of all time. And I know Run DMC, all that stuff could be debatable, but anyway, Wu-Tang Clan still holds a special place in my heart regardless. This brother, Chris Carter, is number 2 as far as the greatest wide receiver. When he came in, we started making these amazing catches week after week. I remember just catching balls with one hand, and it was just something to watch. And when he left, when they let him go, because I didn't know all the background stuff at the time, because we didn't have social media, and it wasn't all, I was young. All I know was that I was devastated when he became a Minnesota Viking. And I was so mad that the Eagles let him go. I remember when the Vikings came back to Philly to play a Monday night game, and Chris Carter lit him up. I remember he caught a bomb, and I was so happy. It was one of the only games that I ever wanted the Eagles to lose. I was like, I want Chris Carter to have like 300 yards receiving. I was like, that's what y'all get for letting him go, And I don't know I can't remember if the Eagles won that game, but I just remember.
The Eagles to lose what? I can't hold on.
I did. It was very rare. It's on very rare occasions. Chris Carter was everything to me. Like he was, he was my favorite wide receiver, and that's just to see him excel in Minnesota. I was so happy for him and the way he mentored Randy Moss, and it was dope. And then Randall Cunningham came to the Vikings, and I became a big Vikings fan that year. Kid Cunningham had an amazing year, almost took his team to the Super Bowl, and that was just so fun to watch. Chris Carter mentor Moss. but at the same time still make amazing catches himself. Like, yeah, I still got something, young boy. Like, let me show you what time it is. And Randy Moss like looked up to Chris Carter, and then Randall Cunningham still was throwing those bombs to Moss, but then throwing those crazy fades to Chris Carter. It was just amazing. So those are my two. Yeah. Those are my two questions. Yeah, that was. They went 15-1 that year.
15-1, yeah, and lost.
Lost to the Falcons in the NFC Championship.
Right.
Now, so my top 5 though receivers, because I know Chris Carter from a football standpoint, like, you know, when you factor in all the different wide receivers, you know, there are some better receivers than the 2 that I mentioned, and that would be number 1, Jerry Rice. Okay, Jerry Rice is on everyone's number 1 list. He's like the Michael Jordan of football when it was specifically wide receivers. If you think if Jerry Rice is not on your top 5, then you have no idea what you're talking about. And then I don't even want to have a conversation with you going forward. That's like saying if you have a top 5 rappers and Rakim is not mentioned, then I don't even want to have a discussion about hip hop and what it means to the culture. You know,
Jerry Rice not only top 5 receivers, top 5 NFL players.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to disagree with that. I couldn't agree with you more. So, but if you want to focus specifically on the position, Jerry Rice he was just something to watch. He was fast. He had short hands. He ran sharp routes. He was a classy dude. Like, he didn't get into any, he just played the game the way it was supposed to be played. He didn't have crazy celebrations afterwards. He wasn't a diva. He played the game right. Like, when you watch Jerry Rice play, it was like watching poetry, you know. And then going on to number 2, I'm going to go with Randy Moss. I think Randy Moss is one of the greatest receivers ever to play the game. And I'm going to say that Chris Carter has something to do with that. You know what I'm saying? So I could be wrong. That's debatable. But because don't get me, I'm not taking anything away from Randy Moss's talent. But when he hit the league, you know, he had a nice mentor to have to kind of show you the ropes. And Randall Cunningham throwing you the ball certainly helped too. I'm also going to talk about Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens, he'll be number 3. Larry Fitzgerald, number 4, and Steve Largent. I'm putting Steve Largent number 5. I gotta put some. He was
a hell of a receiver, man. I vividly remember watching Steve Largent when I was young.
I hardly ever seen him drop a pass. He was so short-handed.
Yeah. One of the all-time greats, man. Steve Largent, one of the all-time greats, man. So I'm not mad at that list.
Yeah, and going back, I don't want to glaze over T.O. and glaze over Larry Fitzgerald because, you know, Larry Fitzgerald is still doing it now. Isn't he still active?
Yeah.
That's impressive in and of itself, right?
Definitely, man. You know, he keeps himself in excellent physical condition, classy guy on and off the field, man, and you know, consistently produces, man. Even years where he has kind of off years, he still has, you know, solid numbers. You know, a bad year for him may be 68 catches and, you know, 4 touchdowns and things like that. And
this Fitzgerald is the youngest player in NFL history to catch 1,000 passes in a career. That's impressive, man. That's from 2004 till now. And again, I want to go back to Steve Largent and how you said it, because I remember you back in the day when we were kids. Didn't you have like a Seahawks jersey or something like that, or a Largent?
The helmet.
Yeah. See, I remember, man. He held every major receiving record when he retired and was the first player to catch 100 touchdown passes. So, you know, he retired in '89. So. You got to give Steve Largent respect, no matter what the race. And it ain't it. And I was just joking because you know how the game now is just majority African American, but you know he was in a class in and of himself, and he was just you know. But I'm about to pass it off to Mike, pass it off to Rome. Sorry, but you know who I wish would have stayed in. He was almost like the Barry Sanders, and it's funny too because he played for the same team. Calvin Johnson. It would be interesting to see what kind of numbers he could have continued to put up if he didn't retire so soon.
Yeah, definitely. Megatron. Definitely. Definitely. Good stuff, boy. Good stuff, man. I like the list, man. That was a solid top 5, man. I don't think nobody can argue with those guys, man. JD, Rome G's, man. Let me hear you got, man. Top 5.
Yeah. That was a good top 5. That was a good solid top 5. Me, I got some honorable mentions like I got all the time. Because I just don't like fives. Because I always got more than five in everything. I think when you talk about like the 2000s, Marvin Harrison, man. Philly guy, went to Roman Catholic. He was just consistent all those years, like him and Manning, man. Him and Manning. Like, Marvin's right there. Another guy, and
same team.
yeah, I like Wayne, but I'm not putting him up there. You got Fitzgerald. I like him also. Fitzgerald has been doing it for years, and then you got Chris Carter. That's my three on the outside.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna go 5-1. The playmaker, Michael Irvin, man. I don't care about Cowboy stuff. That's one of my favorite players ever. I'm more of a football fan than hate Cowboys and all that. Not that guy. The playmaker was second to Jerry Rice through that era. Number 4. Go ahead.
I'm surprised you got that. I'm surprised with that one, Rome. I'm not mad. I'm just surprised.
If you look at
I think my eyes almost popped out of my head when he said that.
That's good. I mean, good stuff. But I'm
playmaker, man. I always liked the playmaker. I hated Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman, but I liked the playmaker.
I tell you, I didn't like when the Philly fans booed when he got hurt.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
I didn't like that at all.
That was disgusting, man.
When Michael Irvin got hurt?
Yeah,
Michael Irvin got hurt at the
man, that's what we do.
That was disgusting, man.
Get him off the field.
Disgusting, man.
Off the field.
All right.
Nah, get him off the field.
Oh, I got another one for my honorable mention. Sorry, I told you I don't like fouls. Paul Warfield, the inventor of the post. You got to have him in there. Yeah, number 42, wow. Paul
He was
Warfield.
on the undefeated team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, inventor of the post. All right, so number 4, Steve Largent. Just like you said, man, he was like the standard when we were growing up. When he had that 100 touchdowns, it was like Rice was chasing that, man.
Right.
Number 3, T.O., man. I think
I glossed over T.O., and I didn't mean to. Yes. Make a touch on T.O.
I mean, when you look back at that era, it was Moss and T.O. Yeah. And I think Moss was more explosive, but T.O. was just consistent every year. Like, he was putting those numbers. Strong. And you knew T.O.
over the middle. He's breaking that first.
And he was like... Tackle. And he was like such the polar opposite of Moss, where he wasn't going to take a playoff. You knew T.O. was going to give you 150% every play, every game. He was going to work his ass off in practice, everything. I always respected T.O., man. I wish his time would have been longer here in Philly, but that's kind of like, that's just his personality. He's not going to stay at one place. That's why he's been on so many different teams in his career.
You know what, too? I bet he regrets it, too. I bet he wish he can go back.
I don't think that guy regrets
some of that behavior. I bet you deep down inside he realizes there's some of the reason why is his fault. The reason why some of those things happen. But he cries all the time, so anyway, I talked about that before. I ain't trying to rehash.
All right, number 2 is Randy Moss. I think once he came in the league, like we never saw anything like that before. And we haven't seen anything like that since, where you could just throw it up to him at any time. And then what made it even more special that 98 year was it was Randall throwing in the ball. And Chris Carter was on that team. You had these 2 Eagles that everybody loved was on that team, and I know I was just rooting for them to get to that Super Bowl.
Me too,
and
man.
That clown missed that field goal, man.
He was perfect all season long.
Yep, didn't miss one all. Who was that? Gary Anderson.
Gary Anderson.
Yeah.
Hey, I wish we had Gary Anderson now. Man, Gary Anderson can still kick. Come on, Gary. Show Jake Elliott what's up.
Yeah. And then number 1, just like you said, it has to be Rice. I mean, if it's not right, he's a top 3 NFL player of all time. If not your top, maybe you put Jim Brown there. I think that's the only guy I could definitively put in front of Rice is Jim Brown.
Montana,
I'm
Rice,
not.
Brown. These are the
I'm not
guys that
putting. Yeah, but I'm not putting Montana as a football player in front of Rice.
No,
Sorry, and I
got
like
you. I got you.
Montana, but Rice was just the ultimate player. Yeah,
No,
I
no,
just.
no, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm
I think right. Yeah, yeah, but I
the
think when you look at Rice, it's like Jordan. Like
Yeah, it's just like him.
that's them.
Yeah,
It's them
NBA
too,
is
where it's
Jordan, NFL's
head and
Rice.
shoulders be above everybody else. If you have a top 5 list and Rice isn't at the number 1 guy,
It's
then
invalid.
you don't know football.
ain't
You
no
just
question.
don't know football unless you're one of those older guys and you saw like what's the boy Lance Allworth play or something, and you just saw him breaking records. I could see that if you're an old timer or something. You know, so they get so crazy with it sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Lance Allworth, he was an honorable mention for me because he
yeah,
was a bad guy. Yeah, and some
yeah.
guys, like you said, wrong, like running backs, they'll never anything other than Jim Brown. You know what I mean? They'll just never see it any other way. But
Yeah,
no,
yeah, those type of people. Yeah, exactly.
right.
But I
Right,
think when you,
even Barry Sanders' dad. You remember? Barry Sanders' dad said, "Oh, Jim Brown's the best player ever."
yeah,
Which is nothing to argue with.
and
Come
I
on,
think
man.
it is
Your
kind
son
of
was pretty good too. Now,
well,
Jesus.
it is kind of like that to us because to us, like somebody will never be better than Jordan, but somebody
Right.
is eventually going to be better than Jordan. Like
My
that's
son
just
was Barry
life.
Sanders. I'm like, oh, my son is the best player in the league. I wonder how that made Barry Sanders feel. Anyway,
Well, I think it's
I
different
digress.
because he saw Jim Brown. Maybe he liked Jim Brown's running style better than Barry Sanders.
I think that's exactly what it was.
So it's just
It's
a
a messed up
different
thing to
stuff,
say.
man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he knows how to motivate his son, man.
Clearly,
You know,
Right.
maybe, you know, like you know your kids how they, you know, you just know. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe he knew that wouldn't hurt Barry Sanders' feelings. So
yeah.
it probably wasn't a messed up thing to say.
They probably talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Like who knows how that goes?
Who knows how great Barry Sanders would be if he didn't retire early? Man. That's going to be our next top 5. Remember how we want to let listeners know? I think that should be our next top 5.
We'll probably do that. We'll ask the question. We'll post that and let us know what we want to do our next top 5. It'll probably be our top 5 running backs.
Yeah, I want to do running backs. But
Yeah,
that's my 5. Rice, Moss, Owens, Largent, and the playmaker.
Yeah. I don't think this is really
Don't be
hard.
a hater.
Yeah. Y'all know me, man. Y'all already know. I felt like I was a wide receiver, man. I still, at the rate the Eagles going, I'm ready to drive down to the stadium and see if I can try out, man. I still feel like I can.
You were the biggest Jerry Rice fan out of all of us, man. You love that.
Yeah, man. So the numbers Rice put up. As far as touchdowns, man, he's so far ahead of the list, man. The numbers is unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
I don't. Who's number 2 in touchdowns behind Rice?
I think it's Moss.
Is it Moss?
I think so.
I'm talking about total touchdowns. Is it total touchdowns? Because Rice has got what 200.
Yeah, I know. Like LaDainian Tomlinson is up there too, but Rice is just so like nobody will catch him. Nobody
even catch him. Number 2 is about 60, 70, you know what I mean? Touchdowns behind him, man. The numbers he put up are phenomenal. Remember that one year where he had and it was the strike shortened year where he had 22 touchdown receptions. And and what people don't know about Rice is he actually had a bad first year when they brought him in from the small college. They were saying the lights were too bright. He had a few drops, and he did. He had a shaky first year. It's scary to imagine if he put up some numbers those years. But Rice number 1 hands down. One of the best football players, if not the best football player to ever play the game. So he's number 1. I got number 2, Randy Moss. I like to call him Randy Boss. Because what can you say, man? Deep threat, man. Poetry in motion, man. He always put pressure on the defense, man. Randy Moss. So Randy Moss is number 2, man. Number 3, Terrell Owens, man. How can you argue, man? Just a beast, man. You know what I mean? Just a beast. And uh, you know what, man? The game, man. These guys just put up numbers now, man. I don't know if you're going to go with numbers now. If you're going to go with, Tim Brown is somebody I like to mention. I don't know if he makes my top 5.
They got all-purpose yards, like not just receiving, but the kick return. That's a good one, Chris.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I don't know if I have him in my honorable mention. Isaac Bruce. Rome mentioned Marvin Harrison. These are some of my honorable mentions. I don't know if I have them in my top 5, but
Remember when Tim Brown and Rice were playing with each other? That Raiders team was strong.
Definitely.
After he left the 49ers, that was a nice little receiving tandem right there.
Right. Rice was still putting up numbers up there, yeah, and Tim Brown too. So, but I stopped at number 3 with Terrell Owens. Number 4, who do I have at number 4? I'll go. You know what? I'll go. Getting a brain freeze here. Who do I have for number 4? Do I go? It's kind of hard to argue with the numbers, man. I go Larry Fitzgerald, man. I wasn't the biggest. I'm not the biggest Larry Fitzgerald guy. I'm really not. But the consistency and the years, and it's hard to argue with those numbers. I'll go Larry Fitzgerald. I'm really torn behind that.
I think it's because you're reeling from that NFC Championship loss when he torched us. When we had an opportunity to win that game, when the Eagles were playing them in the NFC Championship, and Fitzgerald had a big catch and run. Took us and kind of sealed the victory.
Kind of right down the middle of the field, right?
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm a little torn there. I like Fitzgerald. I respect him, but I was never the biggest fan. But it's hard to argue, man. It's hard to argue with the numbers the guys put up. I'm a little torn. I should have wrote this stuff down, but I didn't. But I put him at number 4 and number 5. I'm gonna agree with you guys, man. I'm gonna go with Steve Largent, man. I'm not gonna discredit this guy because of the numbers now. You know what I mean? Like Woods said, when he retired, he was the all time. He pretty much held every wide receiver stat there was. So I'm not going to discredit that because the numbers now. The game's geared so much towards the offense now. So these guys are just putting up huge numbers. But that's my top 5, man. But I think the top 3 are almost. I don't even think you argue with the top 3, to be honest with you. So there you go, man.
Knockout. It's a knockout. The choices are a knockout.
What about
that Triple G down?
The Triple G? We this past weekend, man, we had a huge fight, middleweight fight, man, between Canelo Alvarez and Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, man, and Did you guys see the fight?
No, negative. I didn't see the fight, but I did watch the outcome. I watched people talk about it and went online and read the articles online. Seemed like it was a controversial victory for Canelo, right?
Yeah, it was definitely that. I spoke briefly last show about boxing and how boxing has, it's kind of 2 aspects to boxing, man. You have the actually in the ring boxing where you're trying to win a boxing match, and the essence of boxing is to hit and not get hit. I think Floyd Mayweather might be the best all time at that. Muhammad Ali might be the best all time at actually hitting and not get hit. Some guys like to mix it up, but that's the essence of the fight of the sport. That's the sweet science, and so you have that aspect of boxing. People in the ring actually trying to win a boxing match, and in today's boxing, you have the money aspect of it, and you have promoters who want to see the next big fight. Who's the most marketable guy for the next big money fight, for the promotions, for the TV, for the networks. who's going to bring in the ratings, who's going to produce the most money. And in this case, Canelo Alvarez is the more marketable fighter. He's younger, good looking, what they consider good looking. He has that Mexican fan base, and he's the more marketable fighter. They're both in their prime, but Canelo's younger. Triple G is 36 right now. Is he in his prime? Yes, but he's 36. How many more championship fights does he have in him? Canelo's in his prime, but still kind of ascending. More versatile fighter. But just to speak about the fight actually in the ring, I think Triple G kind of controlled the fight early with his jab. I think sometimes people don't take that in consideration, but George Foreman used to always say boxing's easy if you got a jab. I think Triple G controlled the fight with his jab. They both landed power punches. I think Canelo landed the more effective body shots. Mid-fight, I think Triple G actually hurt Canelo a few times. They might not have been serious hurts, but he stung him a few times. And I think you can make the argument for either fighter. I think if the first fight goes to Triple G, which most people had the first fight going to Triple G, maybe this fight going to Canelo wouldn't feel as bad, but ultimately with the first fight being a draw and then this fight going to Canelo, I honestly think Triple G got robbed. I think he should have won. He should have won fight number one, and I think if I had to pick a winner, I would have chose him to win this fight as well. But I can see this fight being close and somebody making the argument for Canelo Alvarez. And one last point, keep this in mind, back to the money aspect of it. And nobody talks about this, and it really amazes me. It really does, because I haven't heard one expert, one pundit, one so-called, these guys you see on TV talk about it. But who's the biggest promotion in boxing right now? We know Don King had a stronghold on the sport since the 60s, the 70s. Decades, right? Now the biggest name is Golden Boy Productions, Golden Boy Promotions.
Oscar De La Hoya.
Oscar De La Hoya, and our hometown Bernard Hopkins, and it's a couple guys that right. So they're the biggest name in promotions. Canelo Alvarez is signed to Golden Boy Promotions. You know what I mean? So he's not. They're not going to give.
Yeah, Chris, man, you make some valid points, man. I want to ask Rome this, or maybe Chris, if you can come in. I know we're experiencing some slight technical difficulties, but I want to know if this fight warrants a third fight. I wonder because I watched a video where Triple G is saying he wants to fight him again. So do you think this is setting up for Canelo, Triple G, the third match? This one's going to really decide it. I wonder if it's going to be something like that. What do you think, Ron?
I think you got to have a third fight. There's no doubt about it. I think the first two matches were epic. Everybody enjoyed it. They were worth the pay-per-views. So you got to have the Canelo Triple G Part 3.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't see the fight. I heard I wasn't paying the 84. Sorry, don't have a fire stick, so I couldn't get that into it. But I watched the replay on HBO this Saturday, so I'll get to see that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that too.
Yeah. So so that'll be good. Go ahead, Chris.
Got you back.
Okay, it possibly can set us up for a third fight. I don't think that does anything. Again, that'll be about money. It doesn't do anything for, in my opinion, the two best.
Yeah, doesn't do.
Right. So, but good boxing match. Middleweights, Canelo, the more versatile, marketable fighter. He can go. He could kind of come down and fight more guys. Triple G, 36. I don't know how many more fights he has in him. He's still at his peak, but how many fights does he have in him? I mean, his prime. So, yeah, I think the wrong guy got his hand raised ultimately. So, yeah, that's my opinion, man.
So who does
Good.
Canelo?
Well said, man. I thought that was a really good
So
analysis.
who does Canelo fight next?
That's just it, Rome. There's in the middleweight division, Triple G pretty much cleaned everybody out. He had a remarkable streak where he knocked out, X amount of people in a row. He pretty much cleaned the division out, and Canelo had to come up and wait to fight Triple G. But Canelo is not naturally the bigger man. Triple G is naturally the bigger man. So Canelo can actually come down and wait. And, again, that makes him more marketable. Triple G can't come down and wait. He's naturally the bigger guy. So who Canelo fights next, who knows? The middleweight division is pretty much a dud right now. You know what I mean? The weight divisions are the welterweight, and those are the prime divisions right now. It's not a lot of guys in the welterweight division. So that has yet to be
determined.
Yeah. But Canelo's still young. He's marketable. They can do a lot of things with him. They can't do as many things with Triple G, and I think ultimately that's what has some influence on these decisions. But ultimately, I think
this is going to confirm that James Woodruff doesn't know a lot about boxing. What's up with them Russian brothers? Are they still the heavyweight champions, or the Klitschko brothers?
Klitschko brothers.
Yeah, are they still a thing?
Yeah, they still fight. The heavyweight division is,
but they won't fight each other, right?
The one just retired, right?
Yeah, one did just retire, Rome. One did retire. I don't think the other one's too much far behind them. They have two heavyweights that they try to hype up, Joshua and the other guy. The heavyweight division is a joke. It's a joke. So yeah, that's boxing, man. You know what? Let me just say this real. I love boxing, man, because I think it's a beautiful sport, man. I love the sweet science, man. Hit not get hit, and but sometimes these decisions put a black eye on it. And Floyd Mayweather is talking about actually coming back. Yeah, and he's talking about coming back to fight Pacquiao. So
I don't want no parts of that fight.
You and me both, Rome. These guys are both older now. Nobody wants to see it, but Mayweather's a draw. Mayweather's going to bring the money in. Everybody wants to see Mayweather. He's undefeated. He's going to talk. He's going to sell. He's going to, talk, be boastful, and he's going to sell tickets. He's going to produce money. So
yeah.
So he can buy another $20 million watch.
So do you think they have a rematch?
And tell 50 Cent that he ain't got as much money as him, so they can continue their online beef.
So do you think they have a rematch within the next year and a half?
Who's that?
Triple G and Canelo.
I don't know if it happens.
I don't know if it happens.
Yeah, I don't know if the fight actually happens. I don't think the fight would be much different. I mean, you're talking about two skilled, and don't get me wrong, but they're close fights, you know what I mean? So I'm not taking anything away from Canelo, you know what I mean? They're close fights. I don't think anything kind of it'll be the same fight, and depending on who the judges give it to and that sort of thing, and they've already proven that they're going to give anything close to Canelo Alvarez. So I don't know if a third fight even happens.
So let me say this: what pay-per-view fight are you looking forward to? If you had to set up one that was pay-per-view, because this one was just pay-per-view, what would it be? I don't care what weight division.
Without question, you have somebody by the name of Terrence Crawford out there.
Yep.
This guy is prime time. Does it all. He's prime time. So they got another guy, Errol Spence. I think he's still a little unproven. But he's the guy that got in the ring after the Danny Garcia fight, with Sean Porter.
Yeah.
Still a little unproven, but he's on his way up, and he's a top guy. And you still got some guys in that division. Lomachenko, he's another undefeated, and you have who's the guy that beat Danny Garcia before this? Keith Thurman.
Yeah.
To me is a coward because he hasn't fought in about 2 years. He beat Danny, now he's running, so he hasn't fought in about 2 years. But Terrence Crawford is at the top of my list, but they got to find an opponent for him, and that's what they do. They strategize these things out. It's for money, you know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but that's the boxing game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, no doubt, fellas.
I think that's a wrap, fellas.
That's a wrap, man.
Yeah. I think
so.
No
doubt, man. Go ahead, Ron. My fault.
No, I'm done. I was just passing it over to you, man. And or maybe talk about what we're gonna do on the next show. We're gonna do what? Eagles preview.
Next episode will be the Colts.
Yeah.
Preview.
Yeah.
We'll give the 4 for 4 pick 6.
Yep, we're gonna do the pick 6, and then we I don't know if we're gonna slip in top 5. That's kind of up in
top
the
5
air,
running
or
backs.
are we?
Yeah, we gotta do top 5 running backs now.
Okay.
I already said it. We gotta do it now.
All right.
Top 5.
Top 5 running backs. Okay, that sounds good to me.
That's a wrap, man. Good. So, on behalf of myself, Chris Galazzo, on behalf of J.D. Jerome Dooley, my main man, James Woodruff, we're going to sign off. It's another show, man. Broadstreet 4 for 4. We glad to bring it to y'all. Until next time, man.
Oh, let me say it.
Go ahead, say it.
Don't raise your voice. Improve your argument.
No question, man. We out of here. Signing off, man. Love it, Wood. My man.
One love.